Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As usual, back again with some latest stories concerning our team. And happy new week, first of all, to you guys. I wish you a productive and successful week ahead. So back to the main gist. Of course, lots of game went down yesterday, particularly the game involving Atlanta versus Empoli. Was a game that made me really happy and proud to be a Nigerian because yet again, Ademola Lookman impressed us, coming on the evening, scoring 2 goals to the good. And what a way this man, you know, has decided to come back from such criticisms from his coach, calling him one of the worst players, penalty players uh, he's ever seen. But Ademola Lookman chose not to, respond to the coach, chose not to drag the coach, exchange word, chose not to cause any more problems. Came on the pitch, performed on the night, won the Man of the Match award or the MVP award for that game. Classical top player, that this man is. And as usual, I'm going to let you know what happened after the game off the pitch. Like the questions the journalist asked of him, they actually wanted to put him on the spot, trying to ask him questions about the Gasperini issues if it has been resolved. But guess what? When he was asked that question, Ademola Lookman did not respond. He kind of was angered a little bit. He wanted to walk away, but decided to come back. But when this reporter was insisting, Lookman asked, "Is this the end of the interview? If so, can I just leave?" So that was what actually transpired. But kudos to Ademola Lookman, not talking about this stuff because obviously talking about it would have made it even echoed more and would have maybe probably exacerbated it. And especially now that the Atlanta owners are saying, okay, leave this case, okay, we are going to settle these things internally. No more dwelling on the case. Obviously, move on. They've told both parties to move on. So uh, I'm just glad that he didn't say anything about it. But great one for him. This is, in fact, his 12th goal this season in the Serie A alone. And then he's also had 5 assists in 20 matches. That's a whopping 17 goal and assist contribution, which is really fantastic for Ademola Lookman. But for his coach, of course, he also had his post-match conference interview where he said some things that I'm not really sure about because I read it and I'm feeling like this man is still having some kind of grudge relating to these whole issues. But again, everybody has the right to feel how they feel. The most important thing is to be professional, come out and pull the resources to get the job done, of course, for the club. But let me just let you know what the coach said. The coach came out and said after the game, said, Lookman has always scored a lot of goals, at least since he joined Atlanta. He has become an extraordinary player, especially when he puts himself at the disposal of the team. He said that he feels a bond with the fans, and I appreciate that very much. So if you want to screen through what he said, obviously you know that there's a bit of a dig on Ademola Lookman here, because the coach is insinuating that he scores a lot of goal since he joined Atlanta. Trying to say that Ademola Lookman wasn't all that a goal scorer. That Atlanta made him who he is, and that he says that he feels bond for the fans. He says that he feels bond. It's now making it look like Ademola Lookman is pretending like he feels bond for the fans. I don't know what you read into this, but for me, I feel like bad blood still exists between Gasperini and in Gasperini's mind, I think there's still bad blood, uh, with Ademola Lookman because obviously, yes, we know Atlanta kind of improved his quality, or he improved his quality in Atlanta, and then started playing better, started scoring more goals, unlike he did in his previous clubs. But obviously, you can't put these things like this and make it look like Atlanta, is the club that actually made Lookman who he is, because obviously that can't be accurate. But I'll leave you to decide what this means, of course. But let's move on, guys. Of course, we have some top performers as well across Europe. Gift Urban also came good for his Hoffenheim side as a player. A very stiff game against Stuttgart. Urban's goal actually got them the equalizer for that game because they were losing but he scored towards the 70 something minutes to get them back on level terms. And this is actually his fourth goal in 5 matches, which shows that this man is, you know, on the process of picking his form in terms of goal scoring. And obviously, this is something that will help them a long way in, escaping the relegation zone. 1 point is very important at this point. And then we also had the likes of Moses Simon coming good for his Nantes FC side as they played out a 3-1 victory over Lens. Simon scored from the spot kick to help Nantes defeat Lens. But all in all, he was a really exciting player to watch. As usual, he was just marauding from the flank, helping his team all through the game. And it's just so good to see. But we have some really worrying issues right now, especially for Coach Eric Shaw. I'm sure these past few days will have been very worrisome for him because of, the news about one of two players getting injured and things like that. Previously, I've talked about Dele Bashir, the last video, being substituted in the 41st minute because of some ankle issues. And then now there is, a situation with Semi Ajayi, who just recently returned from injury. I think he stayed off for like 3 months or so, and then just recently returned, played with the under 21s of West Bromwich Albion, and then now being integrated into the senior team of West Bromwich Albion, only to suffer another injury setback, and was also substituted at the same minute, 41st minute of their game. So this is really something of a major blow, and the one that's paining me the more right now is that there are some injury concerns regarding William EKONG, and if he's going to be fit for these games coming up next month. And I'm just wondering who else do we even have in that back line. We don't have any other person really. So I'm just hoping that it's not true, especially for William Troost-Ekong, because he's arguably the rock in that defense. He's the one that coordinates, our defense line, and then helps us to stay focused and coordinated. And then there is Rafael Onyedika, who, his club has recently confirmed us on their social media on X that he has some injury issues that, their medical team is going to observe his situation and, ascertain how serious it is. Onyedika's club would actually play the game yesterday, being Sunday, against Standard Liège, and he was substituted in the 23rd minute, of the match, which is obviously something that shows you that, he might have had an issue that made the coach to decide to bring him out. But again, as the day goes by, we'll see more clarities regarding this, situations with our players, and hopefully all of these injury issues will not be things that we have to worry about for long term. But I'm sure Coach Eric Shaw is going to be in touch. He and his team will be in touch with these different clubs and their medical team, and then have them give him updates concerning these players and what's the situation with them.